Okay, so this is going to be a beating heart exercise. And to start it, we're going to open up a new Photoshop file. We're going to name it last name, first name, EX1. And the size is going to be 4 inches by 4 inches. The resolution is 72 pixels per inch. That's because that's the screen resolution. And since this is something that's going to play on a screen, we're going to keep it to 72. All the animations that we do will be 72 pixels per inch. So then the next part is to get a background. And so basically you'll go onto the internet, search and find something you want, and then you'll drag and drop it. I've already done that here, so I'm actually going to continue using this one. If you need to get a background, just pause this, and then you can, once you get it, you can continue watching. Okay, so our first step is to show our animation panel. And that animation panel is located under Window, Animation. And the default is timeline mode, which the controls are in this lower right-hand corner. So that's the default. We're going to work in frame mode because that's a little bit more visual and easier to understand. So switch to frame mode, and with frame mode you'll see your very first frame, which at this point doesn't have anything in it except the background picture. The seconds on this right now are 10 seconds, which is really long. So let's go ahead and switch it to 0.5 seconds. So we want 0.5 seconds on this. Go ahead and switch it. The next step is to make the heart, and we're doing a little beating heart, so we need two. We'll need a large heart and a small heart. Well, let's start out making the small heart. To do it, you're going to go to the shape tool, which is located right under the type tool, and go down to custom shape. From there, in the menu bar, we're going to go ahead and make sure that this very first button is clicked. You don't want the middle one. This one is going to make a shape with a color fill. If you're on this one, you're just going to have a wireframe shape, which is not what we want. Okay, so you don't want paths. You want this one, which is the shape layers. And then under shape, we're going to pick the heart shape. And you can go ahead and pick whatever color you want right through here. I might actually even use, a bright color. And then hold Shift and draw in the shape. Once you've drawn it in, we're going to put effects on the shape. So we're going to bevel it to give it a 3D look. And to do that, you go to the layer with your heart, you double click on the blue part of the layer to get that layer style box. You click Bevel Emboss, and then also be sure that the words Bevel Emboss is highlighted, and that's going to give you the panel that you can adjust. You want to be on Inner Bevel, and then you can raise the depth, size, and soften up, depending on how much you want it to bevel. So size is what's really going to show you kind of a 3D look. And then to get it to look more rounded and less like it's kind of pressed, you raise up Soften. And as you raise that up, I'm just putting it all the way up, you'll get a softer kind of a heart shape. Still looks a little plasticky, but at least it has a little bit of dimension. You can adjust that bevel to have the lighting go up or down. If it's down, you're going to have more emphasis on the top of the heart or up. But just adjust it so that you like it. And then once you like it, you can also go in, and if you'd like, you can add an outer glow if you want your heart to glow. I'm going to click the box, highlight the word outer glow, and I can even choose a color if I wanted it to reflect the color I'm using. And then I can adjust the spread and the size of that glow. Now, because my background's kind of light, it doesn't show up as much. If it was darker, it would show up more. So it's kind of a light on this particular one. There's with and without. So the next step is to make the small heart. And to do that, we're going to copy the layer we've already made. We don't really need to start over. We can use what we have. So drag that layer into the new layer button. That's the button right next to the trash in the layer panel. So that you have two, and I somehow missed it there. Go to the top shape, and we're going to make this one smaller. So we're going to do a free transform. So edit, free transform path, or Command T. This time when we size it, we're going to hold both the Shift and the Option buttons. And we're going to grab from the corner and shrink the shape down. Once you like the size of it, click the check mark. And the reason to hold the Option Shift is because we don't want the heart to move. We just want it to get smaller, but we want it to stay in the same place. So if your heart moved, undo that and do it again. And let me actually back out. I'll do it one more time. Oops, wrong button. So once again, I'm going to do a free transform or Command T. I'm going to hold Option and Shift at the same time. I'm going to grab from the corner. I'm going to drag down to make that smaller heart so that it doesn't move. I want my little center points to stay even. So once I've made my two hearts, I'm ready to do the animation part. And the animation basically consists of making frames and then hiding and revealing layers. So let's go ahead and make a new frame by clicking the New Frame button. And it looks just like the New Layer button. It's right next to the trash here. So I'm going to click. And now I'm going to go and I'll go to my first frame. I'm going to turn off the big heart. Then I'm going to highlight the second frame, and I'm going to turn off the small heart, and I'll turn on the big heart. I'm going to switch the play so that instead of once, it's forever. So right here, I'll click, switch to forever. Then I can go ahead and play this, and it's going to be fast since there's only 2 frames. Well, not super fast, actually, because I'm set at 0.5. But now I have a beat. So that's a really simple, basic animation there. If I wanted it to be more of a syncopated kind of then I'm going to have more frames, and I'm also going to adjust my timing a bit. So I'll turn it off so it stops playing. I'll make some more frames, and I'll copy my second one, and then maybe copy the big heart. I'll adjust them so that it's every other, big, small, big, small. So I'm going to just drag and drop. And then I might set the time so that they aren't exactly the same. So I'll probably take one of those hearts and I'll switch it, maybe make it faster, 0.2. Now I'll play that and see what that's like.
No.
If I want it to go faster, I can just continue to adjust. So you can kind of decide how you want that to play. It's a little too even. Now you can also adjust the effects if you wanted. So if for every beat you wanted the glow to change colors or something like that, or to get bigger and smaller, you could do that. To do it, I would go to the frame I wanted to change, and then I would simply go to the right layer and I'd adjust it. So this is the big heart frame. If I wanted this to change color, I would go and double click and I would change it. So maybe I'd do my outer glow and change its color. Maybe make it red. Or I could make that effect smaller or bigger. So any of the effects you can do additional changes if you wanted. You can see where it's turning red real quickly there. Now once you have it, to save it, there's a special way of saving that's different than the other normal saves that you do with Photoshop. And once again, guys, I'm filming this, so as soon as I'm done, I'll re-show and I'll redo things for you. But for right now, I'm just going to go through. So to save it, it's a save for web and devices save. And to do that, I go to File, and I choose, instead of my normal Save As, I choose Save for Web and Devices. That gives me the default that you go into when you first open it. It's probably going to be this original mode. And you could see it original. You could see an optimized version. You can see 2-up, which is original, Photoshop, and optimized. And then finally, you can see the fourth tab over, which shows you 4 files. This first one is the Photoshop file. The second 3 are all GIF files. That is the animation. That's what you want to save. And what you basically want is the best quality one. So I don't know if you can tell up on the screen at least, but this one, the gradients don't look very smooth. They have kind of blocky marks. So I'm not going to use it. This is probably the best looking one. Now it also tells me how big of a file it is. So you kind of basically are going to try to go for the one that's the smallest that still looks okay. And in this case, I think it's a pretty small file anyways. I'll go ahead and pick this one. Can't choose this one, by the way. Remember, this is Photoshop. You need a GIF. Now, if it still looks bad, one thing you can do is you can adjust the colors up. And right now, I've already done that. If your colors are low, say 32, you might want to raise them up before you go and save. So 64 looks better. 128 looks even better. The more colors, the bigger the file. So you're kind of balancing that out. You're trying to go for the smallest amount of colors that still looks good. Then I'm going to go ahead and save it. And, pay attention to where you're saving it to. And I'll go ahead and save this onto my desktop for now, I guess. From there now, on my desktop, here it is, and I'm going to play it by dragging it into the browser. So I'm going to open Safari. I'm going to take my animation, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to drop it right where the web address is. And then I'll see it play. Now that's the file you're going to turn into me, the GIF, the .gif. Do make sure it plays before you turn it in. I do recommend also saving the original Photoshop version. So also do a normal file, save as, and save it. And that way you can edit it, because the GIFs, once you save as a GIF, you will not be able to edit it. So just get in the habit of saving both so that you've got your original, and here you can see them. I have my Photoshop and my GIF file.
Ms. Tobin? What's the format?
It's GIF.GIF. Okay, guys, so that's it there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'll re-show anything you need to see again.